Good evening from the Channel's newsroom here in London. A serious escalation in hostilities is likely in the Middle East after an Israeli airstrike killed a senior commander of the militant group Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. Baha Abu al-Atta died along with his wife when a missile hit their home. 4 of their children and a neighbour were reportedly injured when the rocket hit this apartment building where the leader lived. The response from the militant group was immediate. Here, a missile launched from the Gaza Strip landing on a busy highway near the port city of Ashdod. Cameras on this lorry showing the moment of impact from the driver's perspective. At least 150 rockets have been fired at Israel from Gaza since the killing. Israel has closed schools across the south and the centre of the country, and civilians have been told to stay at home and not go to work. Israel's military said Abu al-Atta was planning to carry out a series of attacks on the country. This man was a live ticking bomb. Even in recent days, he worked and planned attacks and was meaning to carry them out. We tried to prevent his operation in various ways, but unsuccessfully. In the circumstances created, we recommended to the political echelon to target him. Hong Kong's rule of law has been pushed to the brink of total collapse after more than 5 months of protests, that's according to police. Protesters continued to clash with police on Tuesday in the central business district and at universities, throwing petrol bombs while police forced them back with tear gas and rubber bullets. The protests started in June after a bill was introduced allowing extradition to mainland China, but the demonstrations have since morphed into calls for greater democracy and police accountability.
Hong Kong's rule of law has been pushed to the brink of total collapse as masked rioters recklessly escalate their violence under the false hope that they can get away with it.
The former US Secretary of State has said it is shameful that the UK government has not yet published a report on alleged Russian interference in British politics. Hillary Clinton, who's in the UK for a series of talks and debates, said undercover Russian influence was growing within European politics. The report has formal security clearance, but it will not be released until after the 12th of December election.
I think it's outrageous that your government won't release a report about Russian influence inside the UK. There is no doubt. We know it in our country. We have seen it in Europe. We have seen it here, that Russia in particular is determined to try to shape the politics of Western democracies, not to our benefit, but to theirs.
Rescuers in Bangladesh have been battling to pull passengers from 2 trains after a head-on collision killed at least 16 people and injured more than 40. A train heading for the southern port city of Chittagong and one bound for Dhaka collided at around 3 a.m. about 100 kilometres east of the capital, crumpling 3 compartments of the southbound train. It was not immediately clear how the 2 trains came to be on the same track, and the government has ordered an investigation. Fires are continuing to rage across a large swathe of Australia's east coast, destroying further homes and shrouding Sydney in smoke. Authorities fear they will be unable to control the fires until next week at the earliest. Officials were responding to 11 emergency warnings in New South Wales by Tuesday evening, as around half the 70 fires across the state burned uncontrolled in conditions termed catastrophic. The extent of the damage was not known, with dangerous conditions expected to continue into the evening and then occur again on Friday and early next week. And finally, a gallery in California is preparing to auction more than 1,500 rare items from Disneyland and Walt Disney World, dating back to the iconic theme park's founding in the 1950s. Items such as the original 1953 prospectus that Walt Disney used to pitch to bankers and other financiers ahead of the park's 1955 opening, an original map of Disneyland and other signage are all up for grabs. There will also be familiar characters up for sale, including a hub bronze statue of Mickey Mouse. The Walt Disney signed opening day guidebook is estimated to sell somewhere between $7,000 and $9,000.
People all over the world have a special place in their heart for Disney, Disneyland, Disney World. There are memories that are built there for millions of people around the world. And so when they see these pieces outside of the park, they bring back a lot of fond memories. And because of that, they become collectibles.
And that's your international news around the world in 5.